Games, board games, board games. I might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and today it is Tuesday. It's slightly after 10 o'clock, and I'm going to say hello. It is Bezday. What is Bezday? I hear you ask. Well, maybe I don't hear, because sadly you're not really here. I mean, you're kind of far from here. Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games, I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. 10 a.m. ish UK time. Time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether, episode 1002. And hello, Joe Kelly, it is lovely to see you. I was up very late last night and writing things about you and doing some last minute testing of how good I could be on tricky and epic modes. And yeah, I've finally determined the final rules for Dwindle. Um, Thank you for celebrating Bezday with me. It is, in a manner of speaking, Busy Beats and Board Game Bled. I mean, in case people don't know what the heck that is, I used to stream every day at 10 a.m. ish UK time, and I did that from about May, June 2020 up until sometime 2023, and then I had an epic thousand of episodes, and I was like, yeah, this is it. I need to change my priorities because I'm emigrating, and that kind of leads me to why this birthday is a little bit more muted. I mean, it's partially my immigration, and also partially, you know, rich billionaire taking over Twitter and driving it into the ground. It's sad times. But yes, let's not focus on that. And hello, Timmy. Oh my gosh, it's lovely to see you, Timmy, all the way from Nova Scotia, and Joe from somewhere in England, and myself from London. I mean, there's only two countries represented, but already we are international. It's such a lovely delight to see you both. And anyway, so I thought for a while I might do this every Wednesday, and obviously that didn't happen. I mean, Jess was up for it, but like maybe every month rather than every couple of weeks. Alan was up for it, but I think that I was concerned about falling too easily into an obligation. And the weird thing is that fun things are kind of an obligation. Playing games are kind of like an obligation, if you know what I mean. Like, it just occurs to me, like, I'm really enjoying being here, but the only reason I am here right now is because I told people I was going to be here at 10 a.m. ish, and yes, it's, almost half an hour late that I started, but I'm here, and thank you for kind of being part of that. And, when you want to play a friend, you can play with a friend, like play games with a friend, you've kind of got to say, hey, do you want to do this? And then arrange things. And then there's the whole planning ground things. And sometimes, like the fun things, you say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get out the house. I'm going to go to the party. And myself, I don't know how you feel. Like, let me know how you feel. Do you ever feel like a bit anxious? Like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling like there's so much to do and maybe I don't really want to do it. And then, oh my gosh, it's too much. Maybe I'm just going to stay at home. But then if you actually push yourself and get yourself out of the house and then go to the thing, and it's like, oh, this is actually quite good. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel that way? And yeah, anxiety sucks to me, 100%. Thank you for. And Joe says, yeah, definitely relate to this. But once I'm there, like, I'm not going to lie, there have been times when I've been in a place and I've still felt super alone, even when surrounded by a crowd of people, because I feel like for whatever reason, I'm just not on the same wavelength. I mean, Wednesday, frankly, it happened because there were a whole bunch of our solo RPGs and that we were playing, and they were meant to be cozy and caring things, but really for me, um, like yeah, sometimes they can be really horrible. But then yeah, and anyway, but yeah. Hello, Heather. Thank you so much for jumping in. It's lovely to see you. And hello to me who says, I like RPGs. Now, for this, I thought because I don't have a lot of energy, I'm going to follow the rough plan of what I used to do for Bezzy Beats and Board Game Bladder. Is a board game RPG like Dungeons and Dragons? I assume you mean Dungeons and Dragons to me. So RPGs refer to role-playing games. I think Dungeons and Dragons is commonly considered the first ever RPG. I can't remember what decade it was, like the 70s? I don't know. It was probably before. Like, I'm actually going to Google it right now. This is like how Dungeons and Dragons, like, when did it come out? It's like from Gary Gygax and Dave Atkinson. 1974 by Dave Amison and Gary Gygax. There we go. And yeah, in the 50 years since that, I mean, RPGs have really expanded. So not only do you have RPGs with little miniatures, and I mean, the original thing was almost inspired by war games, and I think that's how the original RPGs went, very inspired by war games. And then, yeah, exactly. So it's 50th anniversary next year. I mean, there's so many things, like Pathfinder is similar, but then modern RPGs, I think, pushed more into that narrative space. Like Call of Cthulhu is a lovely thing. And I actually worked on a LARP, um, which was called Dungeons and Therapy, which was kind of a parody of that, where there's a dragon, and the dragon's actually a really sweet person, and all these adventurers just came and started whacking the thing. Oh, yes. So, LARP refers to live action role playing, LARP. So, LARP is in a normal RPG, you say, my character swings their sword at the monster, or my character looks around and tries to find out what there is, or I speak to the townskeeper and I say, hello, what missions do you have for us? Something like that. So you kind of say what your character is doing. But in LARP, if I'm sitting at a table, my character is sitting at a table. So for LARP is kind of more like acting. So you do all the things that your character would do. And you've got buffer LARP, which is like with foam weapons when you've got a big field and you might be running around hitting people with these weapons that don't hurt here, that don't hurt. You've got chamber LARPs, which are in one room, and my favourites are Nordic LARPs, which are inspired by the Nordic countries. So, like, the Nordic countries, Finland and Norway, and yeah, Denmark. And Nordic LARP focuses more on the small scale emotions. And Timmy says, I've heard of LARP. I think it would be cool to mix it with VR or AR. It might be. I mean, I absolutely encourage people to explore whatever technological mixture they want. And yeah, I'm not allowed to share writing that I got last night because I'm working on something super secret. When I say it's super secret, I'm allowed to talk about it, but I'm not allowed to share the writing, so it's not actually that secret. But yeah, I'm part of a book. I mean, as long as I finish the writing, because the writing that I first sent was apparently too experimental. And anyway, so I read through an interview by Rainer Knizia yesterday that's going to be published by a subdivision of Asmodee. Anyway, so like they were talking about digital aspects in board games, like who was it? A children's cooperative game with a little antagonist, but the antagonist is this digital treasure chest. And the interesting thing about that is that you don't see any screen. And I think for me, not seeing the screen is a big thing. Like, I am happy with digital music. Like, while I'm playing a game, I don't expect there to be a quartet or a concerto or whatever in the background, but having some music does really hype me up. I mean, recently I played Four Gods with my new housemates, and then we had I think it was some Beethoven, like some crashing symphonies, and yeah, this isn't my own game, but Four Gods. It's a real-time strategic game. It's actually pretty cool. I really liked it, but so you play as these four gods in a real-time thing, or trying to explore the landscape, and I like those audio cues. I love the music, but I just don't like the screen, and that's my personal opinion. I would not choose. I would not do something that can be replaced by someone. Like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, I would personally play with my voice or someone else's voice. I would prefer that to a digital app. Um, Heather says steampunk is an offshoot of LARP, yeah, and like you've got Fantasy Forest and all sorts of things which really kind of go into that. And writing is too hard for me. I can never decide what to name stuff, says Timmy. Sometimes just pick a name and go for it. That's my tip. Anyway, let's quickly get into and I'm going to do a longer bit. Recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. This is a weird bit. Like, I used to just focus on the last day, which is super easy to do. But I haven't chatted to you for, like, since early June. Wow. Like, yeah, when I did my debrief of UK Games Expo with Jess Medringham. So what have I been up to? I've not been doing as much stuff as I would like. That sounds like a really weird way to put stuff. I've been work. I've been going to playtests, but yeah, let's just focus on the past couple of weeks. Housemate joined. They helped me put together the addresses. We actually managed to put all the addresses into the Royal Mail system for a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies. And tomorrow and Thursday, we're planning to crash it all together. And let me talk about a couple of games, because, as I mentioned, I am actually leaving in October-ish. So I am emigrating, in case you weren't aware. I'm going to Thailand, and I love the UK. I've had a lot of fun here. I've been here for many years, and it's treated me reasonably well, but I just can't afford to live here, is the truth. And I'm going to Thailand for reasons of price and a little bit of adventure. Hello, Dylan. It's lovely to see you. This is not my birthday. I mean, when I say Bezday, that is not my birthday. 1st of August is not my birthday. Yeah, I'm willing to publicly say that my birthday is 13th of August. So if you want to send me presents or whatever, do that on 13th of August. If you want to send me lovely wishes, then please do that on 13th of August. But yeah, if you want to celebrate today, what I recommend you do is send a joke to me and I will send you a free game. And so stuffbybez@gmail.com. And if you don't know, hopefully you know how to type stuff by Bez, because it's like somewhere on the screen at gmail.com. Well, thank you very much for the wishes, Dylan. And yeah, Timmy asks, do they have a digital nomad visa in Thailand? I don't believe so. It's kind of tricky, but I'll work it out once I'm there. I'll start off with a normal tourist visa. Anyway, so that's recent highlights. Brilliant thing, brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I'm going to say a brilliant thing is traditions. Like, I don't think we should blindly follow traditions. I don't think we should do something just because we've always done it. But if we do it and it brings us joy, and then we do it again and it brings us joy, it can become like a mark in the calendar to say at this point I'm going to do this thing that I enjoy, and then sometimes this almost inconsequential thing can take on a little bit of meaning. And as long as we aren't blinkered to changing when there's reason to change, I think that traditions are a brilliant thing. Um, Thank you, Dylan. I do appreciate that. And like talking about traditions, I mean, I could talk about my streaming earlier on, like when I used to stream every day, or Bezday itself. Like, so what is Bezday? Actually, before I go into that, the other tradition I want to say is a shout out to my lovely friends Charlie Paul and Alan Paul from Surprise Terror Games. And Alan is publishing Lost Bug Standing in the Circle of Doom at Spiel, which I'm really excited about. And yeah. So every time they drive over to Spiel, and bear in mind they've done this like 20 plus times, they have Biffy and crisps. So they always like Biffy is kind of like pepperami if you are in the UK, and it's like a sausage stick, and they have Biffy plus crisp, and it's a kind of unhealthy snack, but you know, it's a once a year thing, and it kind of marks the start of Spiel for them, which I think is lovely. Anyway, so let me actually, if you've got any questionably quick questions is this next section. It's not an interrogation, but it's the questionably quick questions section. So if you've got any silly questions, get them in now. And honestly, you can always do them. This is not a stream with a decent thing, but yeah, please get your questions in for whatever. So what was I going to talk about? What is Bezday? Let me make a banner for this. What is Bezday? Question mark. Oh, do I like Dunkaroos? That's a very quick question. I have no idea what they are. Do you mean Dunkin' Donuts? I mean, they're all right, but honestly, I think that there are more calories than the taste is worth. Like, if they were 0 calories, absolutely, I would consume them like all the time. But I have, in the past couple of years, started to be a little bit more mindful. And I'm not saying that tomato juice and bamboo shoots are my favorite tasting things in the world, but I like, I mean, they do satisfy me. They satisfy a bit of my hunger. They satisfy my desire for having something that has some taste in my mouth. And yeah, so I'm trying to be a bit healthier. And it's not just because it's red. Although I have been cooking a lot with beetroot juice. Dunkaroos are good. I like the frosting. Oh, true story. I went to supermarket yesterday, had some healthy donuts, and I ate half of it, and then the rest of it I was like, this is no good. Spat it out, put it away. Anyway, so what's his Bezday? Bezday, which has kind of inconsistent spelling, is a day when I do stuff. And historically, I have always released a game on Bezday. Do I like dungarees? Oh, I haven't worn dungarees for ages, but I mean, dungarees can be sexy on other people. I used to kind of like the novelty of them. Like, they're like, oh, I don't see that often. And depending on how they're worn, it's kind of, oh, that's cool, or oh. But yeah, I think that like any type of clothing, it depends on how it's worn. But personally, for me, I quite like the t-shirts or shirts and skirts combo. That's me. Anyway, so yeah, carry on with the sillier questions. But Bezday, it started in 2014. So 2014, 1st of August was my first ever Kickstarter for what was then called In a Bind, and is now called Yogi. Although this is Yogi Guru, which is basically the sequel. and it might be discontinued because they might be remixing it. But anyway, so 1st of August, I was like, okay, I'm going to launch a Kickstarter. I think in part of my mind, I just chose 1st of August because first of all, the first of some month seemed like a good date. And I launched it. It was a bad Kickstarter in terms of like the start of the page. I didn't get enough information. I was thinking that people would find it, but then I added more videos as time went on. It was a 58-day campaign. I made all sorts of terrible decisions that I wouldn't do today, and I was expecting it to still somehow go viral because of the quality of the game. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, I'm really proud of it, but I was a bit oh, my expectations were maybe a bit too high. Anyway, so by 2 days left to go, after 56 days, I had maybe 130, 120 backers. I was thinking, no, this isn't going to work. And we were 2/3 of the way there. I needed about £3,000. And then at the end, two of my friends said, no, Bez, just message everyone and just kind of tell them about this thing. So I messaged everyone, like I spent a solid day on Facebook just messaging my private friends saying, hey, this is my first thing. If you could back it, it would mean a lot. If you like the game, then back for a copy. If you don't, then, but you know someone, tell your friends about it. And it succeeded. Like all my Kickstarters have succeeded so far, which has been really lovely. And um, it wasn't the biggest goal. Like I said, it was 3,000. So like that last £1,000, my friends were able to come together and say, hey, Bez likes games. This is something that we might like to support. And I was super excited. It took me a bit longer to get the things made. I was hoping to have it by Christmas that year, but it took me until like UK Games Expo the next year. And so I went to UK Games Expo. I said, if you're here, I will give you your copy personally. I had a bunch of copies. I dressed in red so that I could be identified, which started off the whole red thing. And I actually looked in my closets and stuff. I've got, I think, 2 items that are definitely not red. And yeah, I might actually get rid of them. Well, one of them's the Fantasy Forest t-shirt that I just got, so it's got memories. But anyway, so that started off the whole thing. And then 1st of August 2015, I thought, okay, when can I actually release this? I've given it to my backers at the start of June. Let's wait 2 months. And then I'm going to make a launch date in shops. I'm going to try and make it an event. I'm going to send it to shops. I phoned up all the shops, and loads of shops just over the phone said, oh, that sounds cool. Send me a copy, which was an absolute delight. And one shop said, well, you can come over and do a demo if you want. This was a shop in London, so I'd offered to come over and do a demo. And he said, but just to warn you, even if it's really good, we almost never buy more than 10 copies of something, so don't bother bringing too many. And I took over like 40 or something which was the amount that I could realistically carry while cycling. And, they're small games. And I went to leisure games and I was sitting there all day. 1st of August 2015, I was demoing it and people came by and it was super lovely and I engaged with people. So many people bought it. And at the end, the shop bought like 36, they bought everything that I had, which was amazing because they just saw, wow, this is really cool. This isn't just someone who doesn't understand games. Well, it doesn't matter this isn't something that's half-baked or badly put together. And so that was an absolute lovely validation, and I feel so honored to have been part of that. And then that became a tradition, and it became a tradition that every year on the 1st of August, I would go to leisure games and I would do a demo. And then Tabletop Tuesday became a thing, and I would go there in the evening, which I'm still doing today, to demo some more games. And then it became a thing where I would do quick drawings. And if you want a 1-minute sketch, like, I'm not going to do it right this instant, but like, give me your ideas for a 1-minute sketch. And as long as it fits into the thing, I'll do my best to see what I can do in 1 minute. So I've got my computer counting down the seconds so I can see exactly 1 minute. No cheating here. But Yeah, 1st of August 2015 was in a bind, and 1st of August 2016 was in a bind junior. 1st of August 2017 was the L deck, the original version, if I can find it. Like that's what it originally looks like. And then 2018, it kind of went downhill. I didn't release a brand new thing, and then I realized maybe this isn't, it's okay because I promised that every year I would release a new thing for the L deck on 1st of August, which I've continued to do. And the rules haven't always been the best laid out or the best written, but I think that the games are always something that I can be proud of. And I consider it almost like a day of me saying, thank you for being interested in me. Thank you for supporting me. If you like games, if you like my games, then today's a day that I'm going to do some special deals or give you something that hopefully will be super easy. And 1st of August, it technically lasts a bit, I think about 52 hours because you've got GMT plus 12. No, there's like a GMT plus 16 or something. Anyway, with all the time zones, like a day lasts about 50 hours. But so I've given myself a little bit more flexibility in when things come out. And today, um, yeah, let's actually go into what's happening today. So, um, what is happening today? That's the question. Okay, so share my screen. Share my screen, share my screen, so you can see the things that I mean. Ooh, you're going to hear about this later. This is my um, deck construction game. I'm very excited by that. So this is Drawn Together. Um, Drawn Together is, I believe, the first ever strategic game about um, ah, yeah, that's the way I go. I am verbose. It's true. Thank you for holding on. Longest questionably quick question ever, says Dylan Cole. Yeah, is it Cole or Coyle? I never really, I never really noticed. I'm not sure I've ever tried to pronounce your name before. I do apologize. And Joel Kelly says, lovely to hear about the origins of Bezday. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome. I mean, yeah, I try to, yeah, it's kind of saying, hey, here's stuff. Let me move. Does this work? Yep, I think that works. Okay, so this is Drawn Together, and I'm super excited about this. It's going to be my next Kickstarter once all my current Kickstarters are properly, yeah, fulfilled. That's the word. And once all my current Kickstarters are sent to the backers and everyone's happy, I'll. Oh, so it's Coil. Thanks for letting me know. Um, this is going to be a digital only um, Kickstarter. I'm going to send out sheets. There is this one sheet. There's also another one, which is um, fish versus car. And there's another one, which is bird versus jumper and ghost versus tree. I just realized that bird versus tree would be actually quite cool because they're visually quite dissimilar. And I'm working on, I had circle versus, anyway, this is a two-player game. You take turns. You need crayons or big chunky marker, something that will obscure the faint lines. And what you do is you take turns to color in one or two of the bits. At the start, you determine you've got your three colors, and it's not like one person's got one color, the other person's got the other color. You all use whichever color you want on your turn. And at the end, you're like, I've been trying throughout this game to make it look like a love heart, but you got in the way. Why did you do this? And the other person's like, well, I was trying to make it look like a skull and you got in the way. And you know what your objectives are. You're trying to be, I mean, not actual jerks, but it's a very interactive, competitive, cutthroat two-player game where it's as much about destroying the other person's image as it is about preserving your own. So hopefully you can see both a love heart and skull on this starting image, and at the end you've got something coloured in and you show it to someone and you say, what does this look like? Love heart or skull? So unfortunately, Twitter is still a place where I've got a lot of yeah stuff. But if I type for hashtag drawn together game, then you can see some of the images. So this is one of fish versus car. What does it look more like? I mean, this is actually very balanced. My first instinct is car just because of that big circle and the wheel. That's what I see first. But maybe you see fish. What do you see? I'm actually slightly curious. And here's some versions of Ghost versus Tree. Like this is one that's, well, I guess it looks kind of more. I mean, it kind of ghosty because it's like waving, but I would say more tree-like. And that's definitely ghost rather than tree. That's my personal opinion. But what's yours? Again, like maybe you disagree. Maybe you felt they were both ghostly. Um, and here's the circle versus triangle, and here's another finished one of Love Hearts versus Skull, which I think for me it's fairly clear who won. Oh, I think this is actually from when, um, yeah, Shut Up and Sit Down played at UK Games Expo. I saw Car and Two Ghosts, says Joseph Kelly. I mean, Joe Kelly, I'm so sorry I keep using. I'm so sorry about. Um, but yeah. So if you want your own printable version of the game, like you could, screenshot this and print it out, but just email me. Tell me a bad joke or a good joke or a mediocre joke. Any type of joke's fine. I'm honestly not fussy. I just want you to send me any joke. You can copy paste something if you Google random joke for all I care. But yeah, send me a joke on email, which is stuffbybez@gmail.com, and you will get this sheet plus the rules, and hopefully it'll all make sense. So yeah, at the end, the person who took the final turn determines the judge, and they can text them or find them in person. And actually, if I go back to this one, so Tom Brewster took the final turn and owed it to someone who was running Blood on the Clock Tower and said, what do you see here? Love Hearts or Skull? And then the person said, well, what kind of demon would I be if I didn't say Skull? And Tom was like, yes. And if we look at the things, I think out of 26 people, like basically everyone says heart. And yeah, but so many adverts on X now. But yeah. Anyway, so that is drawn together. That's something I'm excited about. What else have I been working on? What else am I excited about? I'm really excited about this. If I can make it a bit smaller. No, that kind of works. So this is my deck construction game. I'm genuinely really excited about this. So for years, I've wanted to make a deck construction game. The entire goal is and I'm going to actually change the banner because some of your questions have not emerged. Timmy says, I'm going to switch to Fred or Blue Sky or something. Twitter sucks now. Yeah, that's fair. Honestly, I've been spending more energy on Mastodon than I have been spending on Twitter recently. If I type something that is short enough, actually, believe it or not, I sometimes even copy paste to X, formerly known as Twitter, Mastodon, and also Board Game Arena. So like sometimes I write a little thing in the morning of saying, "Hey, good morning, hope you're well," or something like that, and then that goes on all three of them. Um, yeah, if you're on Mast, did you? Yeah, I think you followed me, didn't you? And like, yeah, it can be a little bit confusing, but I think I like what Mastodon's trying to do. Anyway, so deck construction game. Um, what is a deck construction game? This is a game where about deciding which cards to use before the game. So you've got a whole bunch of cards. In this specifically, you've got 72 cards, and you only need to use like 20 or so of them. Like a typical deck from previous players is like anywhere from 20 to like the biggest deck that I've seen someone use is 32. But that was because they were like, oh, I just cannot choose. I just want told you. And but you might so you've got different resources. You might choose to go just with one resource, or you might choose to go hard on creatures. Anyway, so in this game, you are assembling contraptions and creatures to attack your opponent's castles. And I'll get into that in a wee bit, but the whole design started when I played Huntic years and years ago. This was around, oh my gosh, 2008, 2010, something like that. And Huntic was totally discontinued. I bought a bunch of decks. It's not about what Huntic is, but it's about what we made it. It's about how we changed the rules. I bought a starter deck and then I read through it and I played it with, and I was like, oh, this is actually quite cool. And it was on sale for literally £1. Like this box, which should be sold for like £20, they just overprinted it. It's based on a cartoon. And I think, yeah, in the starter box, they give you like the first 2 episodes of the cartoon, thinking that, yeah, you'll go off and buy more DVDs or whatever. And it seems like a fairly reasonable, like kind of vaguely like Pokemon, but different enough. Anyway, so Huntic. The reason that I fell in love with it is because we both had access to the same 60 cards. In theory, it's meant to be like, okay, these 30 cards are good, these 30 cards are bad, and you cannot mix the two. But we said, like, to heck with that. We're just going to mix them together. And we both had access to exactly the same things. And having access to exactly the same things and making the deck construction not be about collecting, which is what Magic the Gathering's kind of become, where it's like, okay, I could imagine a cool deck with, I could imagine like a type legacy deck. I was going to say type 1, which is what it was originally called, with like Black Lotuses and stuff, but I'm never going to get to play that. Even in the cards that are like there in the past year, even in the cards that have come out in the past month, I'm not talking about special editions like the One Ring or whatever. I'm just talking about basic stuff. Like a rare card, might be sold for like £5 or 20 quid easy. And so then if you've got like in your deck 20 lands and 40 special spells, then that might be like 200 quid if you want a specific thing. And you are very much constrained by what you've randomly taken, and there can be this dissatisfaction of, am I losing because of my decisions, or am I just losing because of what I had access to? I loved Netrunner. I loved what Fantasy Flight Games did as a living card game, and that sort of idea of non-randomized packs. But I don't think they went far enough. They said, you can have up to 3 of any card. And these ones we're going to give you 3 of, these ones we're going to give you 3 of, but these ones you only get 1 of. And that feels kind of... It's artificially curtailing your ability to make decks. I want everyone to be like, okay, what's the cheapest, most financially accessible deck construction game I can make? And that was what I was trying to do. Something that's financially accessible. And then as I finally started playtesting it, I'd been pondering it for years. I started talking to someone like actually pondering the specific mechanisms. Like last August, around this time, after I met, you might remember Amy from last Bezday, who helped me playtest a bunch of stuff, and she's really into deck construction games and Magic. And I talked about, oh, I've got this idea, and then I pondered it when out in November, and I was like, okay, what's the smallest number of cards we could make? I mean, if you had, let's say you've got 54 cards, how small would a possible deck need to be to feel like you've got some ownership? Because if you choose 40 out of 50, that's not really deck construction. That's just choosing 10 of them to not use. And then I talked to Glenn Ford, and we decided, well, about 20 is a reasonable minimum deck size if you want to say 54 cards is an entire set, because I really want it to be financially accessible. Let's make it like one box. Anyway, so then I was thinking, okay, how can I make this work? That's just not that many cards. And if I want 20 cards in a deck, that's not a lot of variety of creatures. So then what I do is I make them modular. So if I reach over to these cards over here, what you see from this prototype is on one side, you've got the creature module, and then on the other side, you've got the spell. And basically every piece, every card is module. And you know what? This is the way that the PDF looks like that. If this is something that you would like to print out, then when you send me your joke to stuffbybez@gmail.com, just for today, like until the end of, like for the next 48 hours, I will absolutely send you this. It's going to be printed and given away at my leaving party on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of August. And like, if you're unaware, Milton Keynes, you're invited. Come over, it will be great. Are you going to be there? I mean, Timmy, I'm not expecting you to be there. Dylan, I'm not expecting you to be there. Joe, are you going to be there? It would be great if you are. Anyway, so modular cards. And so what happens is these cards get pieced together. So you've got like a little base like this, which you can see the resemblance. And then if you want to use this card as a spell, you just use it and then it goes away. But if you want to use it as the hand, it slides under. Boom. And then here's a card with two hands, which is amazing. And it costs a little bit more. But there's a creature with 3 hands, which means that it can steal 3 things. But it doesn't have any mouth, so it doesn't have any actual strength. So it could be blocked by anything. And that's kind of the overview of the game. So there's some cards which every card has this castle on the back, and at the start of the game you set aside 5 of them. That's kind of like your lives. You've got your creatures, you've got your contraptions, and your contraptions are designed to give you repeatable spells. If you've played Gizmos, it's vaguely like that. And all of these spells, because of the way the PDF are upside down, but they might allow you to look through stuff, do card filtering, they detach modules, which you can use for the opponent stuff, obviously. You can boost your creature's power, destroy castles directly. Normally you need to attack to destroy the castles. A halo just stops a creature from being targeted by anything. So you need to detach the halo before you can attach anything else. And this set of cards is, I consider this like pre-alpha sets. This is like the first really big public playtesting that I've done. And so as you see, you've got cards that have hands, which allow you to steal your opponent's resources if you go. Mouths, which add the power. Eyes, which resonate, which go with other spells, which might say, oh, for each eye you do this. You've got well, that's a double mouth, which is why it costs 5 resources, 4 of anything and 1 triangle. Some For each eye on one of your live creatures, gain any 2 resources. There you go. That's the thing that you get eyes for. Sometimes you, and so that's all the creatures. And if I carry on skimming down, because this what I did the illustrations, but my friend Jack, I paid them to assemble this, and then these are the contraptions. So you pay a square, and then every time you run this, you pay a square to gain 4 new. So you basically net gain one of each resource because there's 3 different types of resources. Um, Conversely, this one is free, but it nets you 2 resources, and you can either attach or run your contraption. So it does take you a bit of time to get your stuff going, and you can have multiple contraptions. You could be like, okay, I'm going to start running this, but then you've got also spells that allow you to attach many things at once. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how people play with this, and that's just 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 resources, destroy 4 castles. Like, that's a really powerful thing. So if it gets to that stage that you've got that many resources, there used to be an alternate win condition that either you won by destroying the castles or you won by having lots of resources, at which point I felt, well, why not just have spells that turn a lot of resources into castle destruction? Like, this one turns one card, any 1 card that you've got, into 5 resources, which is pretty good. And then you've got cards that recycle stuff. So in order to make the 20 card deck work, I'm trying to find a spell that recycles stuff. Like, this just straight up destroys 1 castle, which is quite exciting. And yes, you run it to attach a card and gain a circle. And yeah, that just helps you speed up stuff, whereas the detach, you'll normally use it for your opponents and get in their way and destroy their creatures before they can even attack you. And here you're spending 4 resources to gain a card. Creature. So yeah, I'm genuinely really excited about that. I'm excited to see how it goes, and it's the idea is that's 72 cards there, and the idea is everyone's got access to exactly the same, pardon me, 72 cards. And my friend Kerry said, yeah, you might have made it to be financially accessible, but as a result of how few cards it is, it's also less intimidating. After playing the game twice on training mode, where you don't need to do any deck construction and you just play with all the cards, she had some ideas for how to make a deck, and then went back and then came home and then came back here, and we're like, hey, this is cool. But yeah, I'm really excited by that, and I'm printing 100 copies and giving most of the away, and yeah. Timmy says, I'm not going to come to your leaving party. I'll travel to the warm destination instead for the arrival party. Well, I should be there in November, and I hear that there's going to be a CMON, some sorts of convention that Eric Lang told me about. So I'm really excited. Like, so, oh, what's it? So I'm hoping to be there and to sort of assimilate myself. If you fancy coming over, I mean, I can't offer you a place to stay or anything, but I'll happily hang out and meet you. So yeah, that's a bit of what I've been working on. Yeah, what else have I been doing? I mean, a big thing is that 2 weeks ago, a friend came over and my room is finally tidy. That's a big thing in my life. Other games that I've worked on, if you want to find out, go to stuffbybez.com/discord. But I worked on a game about, this is not necessarily the title, but it's a game about taking cubes to take cards to get points. Vaguely themed around cosplay. So the cards that you get are head, body, and legs bits, and then you put them together to assemble your costumes. And if you've got cohesion, you get points. If you've got the most um, thematic costumes, then the judges like you, so you get bonus points at the end of each round. And it's about assembling one, then two, then three costumes and seeing how you get on. I'm happy with how that's going. I've also been working on a game about drafting cards with some area majority in there. And it was vaguely inspired by Bunny Kingdom's two-player drafting, which I really like. Take one card, keep it, the other one discard. So it means that you've got something for yourself and something to hate draft the other person. I don't have the random input that Bunny Kingdom has. That didn't seem... But I started off having that plus worker placements, and so it's kind of like just that plus area majority, and it seems to be going in a really nice place, but yeah, we'll see. Also, last week I went to a Now Play This festival, and I made a game that I'm really proud of. I'll tell you the rules right now. So the way it works, get a sheet of paper. This is a sheet of paper, and on your turn, you draw a line. Only one line. It's not allowed to bend back on itself, so you cannot do a wave. You cannot do any angles. You can either do a straight line or a curve. And each turn, I've got something in my head and I draw this line. Maybe I'm thinking of, that could be the start of a banana in the fruit bowl. Maybe someone's holding the banana. Maybe it's like a monkey holding banana. Or maybe I'm thinking it's the ear, like parts of the ear of a bear. I don't know. Then the next person looks at it. They think, okay, what is this? Maybe they think, this could be, a little eye. I'm going to kind of do that. And then the next person sees this and then thinks, that looks like a bit of bread. So I'm going to do that. And then maybe you end up doing, like, a circle is 2 turns, and then maybe you end up doing like a tiny little bus, I don't know. And then at some point, you've all worked out what the thing is that you're drawing, and you all draw it together, one line at a time. So there's almost like 2 phases to this game, not formally, but that's the way it turns out. So at any point, once you've decided that's all I want to draw, put down your pen and just drop out. Once everyone's dropped out, that's the end of the game. And if you didn't converge on something, then you failed as a group, but try again. But if you manage to converge, even it doesn't matter if it was your original vision. This is a game about being flexible and starting off and having a vision and then taking turns and then adding to it until it changes what it is and doing a formalized communal drawing. And I think there's something really beautiful in what we created. It was meant to be a game about care. And my friend Ed wrote down the rules. I'm going to rewrite them in my own words at some point in the next few hours and put it up. So again, that's all. Where could that go up? I'll put it on a Google Drive and then share it with everyone. That's what I'll do. But yeah, email me if you want, because my mailing list is just not... MailChimp at the start... And again, going back to things being muted, like MailChimp at the start of the year changed their minimum thing from 1,000, I think it was 2,000 people, and then they dropped it to 500. And it's not wanting to pay like so much for sending like an email a month. That's, yeah, I just can't afford this. So anyway, but that's another thing that I've been working on, and that's a thing that I'm excited to share. So yeah, should I talk about my leaving party? My leaving party is the 11th, 12th, and 13th. I'll also have a game about walking around, making wordy connections. That's a game of mine that's been available online for a a while, although it's outside of the scope of Board Game Geek, and I need to get to a better website to catalogue all these things. Let's move to singing names, because that's something that I said I would do. And feel free to interrupt me, but I am going to sing all these names, but with water in between. These are the people who backed my game on a game about selecting 7 cards, speedily searching for synergies, and water, indeed. Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray, Cassie Ray. David Waldorf, David Waldorf, David Waldorf, David Waldorf, David Waldorf, David Waldorf, David Waldorf. Andrew, Andrew, Andrew. James Willis, James Willis, James Willis, James Willis, James Willis, James Willis, James Willis. Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000, Chessmaster 2000. Darren, 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 Darren. Beth, 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 Beth. Taka, 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 taka. Board games brand, 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 board games brand. Seriously kooky, seriously kooky, seriously kooky, seriously kooky, seriously kooky, seriously kooky, seriously kooky. Burning Love by Elvis, 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 Burning Love by Elvis. Avery, 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 Avery. Rachel Keister, Rachel Keister, Rachel Keister, Rachel Keister. Salami, Lord of Sausage. 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 Salami, Lords of Sausage. Ne restro, ne restro, ne restro, ne restro, ne restro, ne restro, ne restro. Ricky Tata is still waiting for his song. 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 Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata. Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata. Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata. Ricky Tata, 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 Ricky Tata. Ricky Tata, 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 Ricky Tata. Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata, Ricky Tata. Just for clarity, people pay different amounts, and someone paid 7 times for their name to be sung 7 times, which makes it 49. So carry on, go on. Nicole, 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 Nicole. Australian Shepherd Grizzly, 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 John DeMattia, John DeMattia, John DeMattia, John DeMattia, John DeMattia, John DeMattia, John DeMattia. Benjamin Gasser, 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 Hipster King, Hipster King, Hipster King, Hipster King, Hipster King, Hipster King, Hipster King. Virginia, 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 Virginia. John Morgan Riordan. John Morgan Riordan, 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 John Morgan Riordan. Will, 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 will. Just need to check something very quickly. Cool. Mushykins, 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 mushykins. Paul, 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 Paul. Mel, 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 Mel. Fiona Plumridge, Fiona Plumridge, Fiona Plumridge. Fiona Plumridge, Fiona Plumridge, Fiona Plumridge, Fiona Plumridge. Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta, Francesco Barretta. Andy J, Andy J, Andy J, Andy J, Andy J, Andy J, Andy J. Danger Heart, Danger Heart, Danger Heart, Danger Heart, Danger Heart, Danger Heart, Danger Heart. Polchige, 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 Polchige. Adam, 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 Andrea, 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 Joe, 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 Michael, 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 Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson. John, 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 Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith, Adrian Smith. Adam, 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 Georgina, Georgina. Wait, is it Georgiana, 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 Jonathan, 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 Jonathan. Losing count of this. Paul, 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 Alex, 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 Alex. Voice of Gabriel Harris, voice of Gabriel Harris, voice of Gabriel Harris, voice of Gabriel Harris. Voice of Gabriel Harris, voice of Gabriel Harris, voice of Gabriel Harris. I'm checking this one because this is definitely 7. I assume it was only one lot of 7 when it says times 7. Is that only one lot of 7?
A lot of 7, yes.
Let me. So I'm just going to double check the things. Adam Butson, Georgiana, Jonathan, Paul Dunn, Alex. Yes, it's times 1. Max, 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 Megan, 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 Earbordo, 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 Matt, 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 Simon, 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 Tim, 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 Mike Bonnet of Who What Why, 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 Mike Bonnet of Who What Why. Benjamin, 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 Benjamin. Bosby and Bestis, 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 Bosby and Bestis. Ian, 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 Ian. Jakob, 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 Dennis, 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 Anna, 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 Jeff, 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 tips, 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 tips. I am awesome, 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 I am awesome. Jeffrey character Wheatles, 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 Jeffrey character Wheatles. McKenna, McKenna, McKenna. Oh, wait. That is times 7. Na, McKenna. I am awesome, 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 I'm awesome, I am 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 awesome. 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 Violet. 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 Lee, 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 Lee. Justin, 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 Justin. Matthew Sisson, 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 Tony, 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 Bryony, 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 Orgus, 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 Tom, 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 Tom. Vumshikal, 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 Coleman, 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 Coleman. Just a second. Cat, 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 cat. Monitoring, 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 monitoring. Zoe, 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 Zoe. Hendrik, 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 Hendrik. Kevin Hart, 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 Kevin Hart. Naomi, new me, new me, new me, new me, new me, new me, new me. Stefan, 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 Stefan. John Perry, John Perry, John Perry, John Perry, John Perry, John Perry, John Perry. Roger Federer, Roger Federer, Roger Federer, Roger Federer, Roger Federer, Roger Federer, Roger Federer. Elizabeth, 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 Elizabeth. Simon, 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 Simon. The Bernsteins, the Bernsteins, the Bernsteins, the Bernsteins, the Bernsteins, the Bernsteins, the Bernsteins. Will the wizard Brasher? 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 Josh, 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 Josh. Martin Steen and Scott Saxon, 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 Martin Steen and Scott Saxon. Kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat. Apron coat, apron coat, apron coat, apron coat, apron coat, apron coat, apron coat. Kirsten, 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 Kirsten. Space Author Publishing, 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 Space Otter Publishing. Chris, 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 Chris. Grandma Lexi, 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 flute, 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 flute. Meeple and Mookie, 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 Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case, Jeffrey Case. F-Car and Elaine, F-Car and Elaine, F-Car and Elaine, F-Car and Elaine. Eric, 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 Eric. Empire, 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 Empire. Badger, 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 Badger. Amy, 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 Amy. Amy, 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 Amy. Amy, 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 Amy. Alex, 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 Alex. Maggie-chan, 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 Maggie-chan. Elizabeth, 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 Elizabeth. Kim, 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 Kim. Checkmate, 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 checkmate. Phil, 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 Phil. Paul, 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 Paul. Martin, 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 Martin. Martin, Martin, Martin. Uncle Brand understung, 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 Uncle Brand understung. Matt, 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 Matt. Laura, 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 Laura. Maridodran, 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 Maridodran. Lots of love to you as well. Thank you for being here, Joanne, and being part of this weird thing. Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett, Stephen Barrett. Tassos, 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 Tassos. Cresto monkey, cresto monkey, cresto monkey, cresto monkey, cresto monkey, cresto monkey, cresto monkey. Battling gaming, see, I see. 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 Benjamin Todd. 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 Michael, 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 Crippled Joe, 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 Crippled Joe. Indie Game Alliance, 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 Indie Game Alliance. Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed, Sarah Reed. Peter Theophilus Bevis, Peter Theophilus Bevis, Peter Theophilus Bevis, Peter Theophilus Bevis. A shark's name. I'm going to name the shark baby. Baby, 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 baby. Brian, 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 Brian. Just beyond, just beyond, just beyond, just beyond, just beyond, just beyond, just beyond. Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw, Lewis Shaw. Lisa, 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 Lisa. Dora, 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 Dora. Angela Bertina Horton. 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 Ben, 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 Ben. Michelle Snake Gelly. Michelle's. Oh no. Michele. Michele? Michele Snake Gelly. Michele Snake Gelly. Michele Snake Gelly. Michele Snake Gelly. Sunshine, 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 sunshine. Michael C. 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 Justin Ducour. 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 Jamie, 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 Jamie. Iona, 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 Iona. Ralph, 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 Ralph. Bobby and Lisa, 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 Bobby and Lisa. Charlie, 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 Charlie is my darling. Chet, 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 Chet. Jonathan, 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 Rudolph, 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 James Flanagan, 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 Bez, 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 Emma, 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 Crampy, 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 Crampy. Graham gets the best EM. 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 Some man for 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 some and for Joshua. Joshua. Joshua, 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 Joshua. Noemi, 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 Noemi. Shoo fly, shoo fly, shoo fly, shoo fly, shoo fly, shoo fly, shoo fly. Mike and Grace, Mike and Grace, Mike and Grace. Mike and Grace, Mike and Grace, Mike and Grace, Mike and Grace. Paul Casella, Paul Casella, Paul Casella, Paul Casella, Paul Casella, Paul Casella, Paul Casella. Luke, 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 Luke. Luke, Luke, Luke. Ascospore, 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 Ascospore. Liam Astley, Liam Astley, Liam Astley, Liam Astley, Liam Astley, Liam Astley, Liam Astley. Anna Maria, Anna Maria, Anna Maria, Anna Maria, Anna Maria, Anna Maria, Anna Maria. Paul Mansfield, 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 Michael, 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 Mr. 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 Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy, Eastside Jimmy. Corner, 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 corner. E B E B E B E B E B E B E E B. Tom, 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 Tom. Phil, 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 Phil. We're not wizards, 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 we're not wizards. DMW Carol, DMW Carol, DMW Carol, DMW Carol, DMW Carol. Chris, 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 Chris. Cricky, 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 cricky. Arthur, 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 Arthur. Dylan, 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 Dylan. Thin, thin, thin. Or is it tin, 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 tin? Galen, 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 Galen. Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones. Sander, 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 Sander. Nerp Batman, Nerp Badman, Nerp Badman, Nerp Badman, Nerp Badman, Nerp Badman, Nerp Badman. Ntombo, 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 Ntombo. Martha, 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 Martha. Nicoli, 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 Nicoli. Ronan, 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 Ronan. Anna, 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 Anna. Dave of GG Games, 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 Dave of GG. Oh, I miss. I totally misread that. Dave of GGG Games, 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 Dave of GGG Games. Valeria, 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 Valeria. Min, 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 min. Min, min, min. Sarah, 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 Sarah. Lauren, 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 Lauren. Z, 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 Z. Andrew D, Andrew D, Andrew D, Andrew D, Andrew D, Andrew D, Andrew D. Taco, 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 taco. Susie, 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 Susie. Lucia, 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 Lucia. Mon fluffery of doom, mon fluffery of doom, mon fluffery of doom. Mon fluffery of doom, mon fluffery of doom, mon fluffery of doom, mon fluffery of doom. Leanne, 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 Leanne. Scary biscuit, Sary biscuit, scary biscuit, scary biscuit, scary biscuit, scary biscuit. Wow. So that was, I believe, like over half an hour of constant singing of names. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't expecting it to take quite that long, but there you go. That's what happens when you promise to sing all backwards names 7 times, and some people go for that more than once. So yes, that was a thing that I was doing. And so yeah, if you thank you to those who jumped in or even just remained here, and thank you, Random Bunny, for following. I do appreciate that. Um, oh my gosh. Um, and so it says, it's nice to see your face, but the stream content is questionable today. What can I say? I'm singing some names. I'm doing exactly what it says over there. Singing some names. Um, you know what? Unless I don't think I've got anything more to say. So unless anyone has any questionably quick questions, then I'm going to say goodbye. And I think I basically covered everything. Um, so, um, if you want to start a do I got a game on Board Game Arena couple. If you want to join me, then I'm going to create free tables just now. If you like word games, then please join. Um, There we go. This is couple, and the way it works is you take turns to move your card somewhere else. So whether it's your turn or not, you're allowed to raise or lower your cards. So in this instance, I'm thinking like Loo is quite a nice sort of a word. It's about card management. It's about helping each other make the longest words possible. And a lot of people have enjoyed it. People who don't enjoy it tend to say that it's because they don't like games that are about high scores. As I said, if you want a sheet for Drawn Together, then send me a joke over email. I will be sharing the rules for my colouring in game later today. I will be hopefully sharing the rules for Dwindle, uploading that by the end of the day. And if you had any things that you wanted me to do, like a quick 1 minute drawing for something, then that would be cool. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. So yeah, I might come back tomorrow morning and in about 22 hours and say a quick hello to sort of wrap up Bezday and talk about it. Otherwise, say, yeah, please do comment, ask questions, from like, follow. I reply to all respectful comments that have, or all respectful questions that I say I should say. And my question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. The question of the day is, what is something that you're going to do today to make yourself smile? Because ultimately, the reason that I make games, the reason that I continue to do that, the reason that I play games, the reason that I started Bezday is for connections. I mean, it seems almost trite to say that that's what games mean to me, but I can't. I mean, that's absolutely sincerely. Whether it's digitally through Board Game Arena, whether it's talking about a video game we've both played, whether it's being in the same physical space together, whether it's me going and saying, hey, this is my thing, connect with me as an artist, please. Because I do believe that games are a form of art and people connect. And it's those connections which I think are the most meaningful things. And you being here like people connecting to me through Kickstarter and supporting me, that means so much. And it means more than the money, frankly. It means because it's about those connections. It's about someone supporting me. It's about someone saying, hey, I find value in what you're doing, and I'm going to pay you a couple of quids just to say, hey, please keep doing it. And that means so blimmin' much. Um, People who try my games, it's again a form of saying, hey, this is something valuable. And yeah. And Timmy says, today I will sleep. I don't know if it will make me smile, but it will be nice to sleep. Yeah, I totally get that. Like, I hope you have a good rest. And yeah, it must be ridiculously late slash early over there. So I genuinely hope you manage to sleep. Um, but yeah, for me, the connections are the things that makes me smile. And 8 a.m. Wow, like yeah. I'm sorry for all your insomnia and everything. Like, so much love. I mean, for me, like, it's this kind of chat. It's like the fact that you come here. It's like the fact, Random Bunny, like you coming and following along, like Sates and Joanne and like Joe and Dylan and like Heather and like Timmy. Like the fact that you all come here and like everyone who gave me their names to sing, even though it was just me singing and that they might not ever listen. Like, if you do listen, then thank you very much, and like, please leave a comment and like. But like, that's a connection. And me going over to Tabletop Tuesday today, I'm going to probably try and head out around 5. Yeah, I'll aim for 3 or 4 and actually get out for 5. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, thank you for being here and thank you for the connections, because that's what makes me smile. And I think that's what Bezday always meant to be about, because I think that, yeah, me making games, it's a form of validation. And like Random Bunny, I think you said recently that you enjoyed Welcome to Dino World, and whilst I wasn't officially a designer on that, I did do a lot of stuff on it. And like, if I hadn't been on that project, it would be very different. So it feels like a form of connection. Like, hey, I helped make a thing and you enjoyed it. And like, whenever, I mean, people don't do it that often, but when people say, oh, I really like Yogi, or I like a game about wee whimsical creatures and trying to identify them after some noise, it means so much, because it's more than just me making a thing and then someone separately enjoying a thing. There's a connection between those two. There's a through line. And that's the connection that I'm talking about. No. Thank you very much for being here. And over to you. What are you up to? You can share, Botsy, if you want to. So yeah, just continuing the question, what are you up to today? What are you up to? I am going to try and send out some updates for all my Kickstarters about my leaving party. I'm going to sort out some stuff on my leaving party. I've got to order all the food that I should have done on Friday. Maybe, and then I was going to say maybe trying to work out the travel. If only I knew someone in London who was also going, who had a car. But like Londoners don't tend to have cars. But that's what I'm doing, and then going to Tabletop Tuesday and spending the whole evening there, and then coming back quite late. And then I guess uploading the rules for Dwindle and announcing it on a few places. So if you've got an L deck, then I hope you enjoy Dwindle. It's a very good game with 3 difficulty levels. The simplest, I believe, is playable by an older child. Like, when I say older child, like that's I mean, like, I'm technically a child, but I'm thinking like 7 plus. Yeah, you could play the easy modes. Like, once it gets to tricky, you like need to learn a few things, and then once it gets to epic, you need to know that you're sitting down for like a good hour or so to actually. It's like an epic word game. So if there's anything you want to share, please do. I promise I care. otherwise recap and wrap up before we finish up. So to recap and wrap up, I started talking about what I've been up to recently. I started talking about um, oh yeah, this is slightly edited. I don't know if you can actually tell the difference between how it was a couple of months ago, but Jack sort of just tweaked the little triangle up top and got rid of it and made a couple of other changes. I'm really excited about my DCG and seeing how people will react to it and hoping people enjoy it. I'm also I talked about three other games, one of which I'm going to give away for free today within the next 48 hours for sure. Watch this space. And yeah, then I talked about the origins of Bezday. I talked about Dunkaroos and Dungarees. I talked about, and then I sang people's names for half an hour. And then I started talking about connections and I started recapping and wrap up, which brings me to this moment. Please share, spread the word. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Lots of love. I am Stuff by Bez in all of the places, so check me out. That's my shop, although I've kind of because of personal issues, I've put most of the stuff as out of stock, except for a couple of games that I'm not personally shipping. If you want to join my Discord, then that's it. If you want to find me on YouTube or Twitter, I guess for Mastodon, I need to give a more complicated thing, but Mastodon is stuffbybez.tabletop.social. If I how do I find my thing? Yeah, I think it's stuff by Bez at tabletop.social. It's a bit complicated. Like, I think the fact that it's syndicated means that you can't just have the one thing, but yeah. Anyway, I'm on Facebook and Instagram and technically TikTok, although I've never posted there. So that's the end. Bye bye and lots of love. And for now, all I'm going to say is bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye bye, everyone. Have a lovely day. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.